for some assistance? Acknowledge? The Star Parcels fleet's got a load of these aging Deimos monsters. Built like tanks, but well past their warranty. It's gonna take hours to fix this, if we can get the engine back online at all. "30 years ago, this ship would be a beast. Maybe more like 50. I got a hot package that's paid for expedited delivery. They'll dock my pay if it doesn't get to its destination. Star Parcel will reward you well if you can assist." The paperwork involved in giving you anything extra is a nightmare. I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. Hold on. Maybe we can still work something out. Tell you what, I can pay you some credits from the discretionary fund up front. Best I can do. Excellent. All you need to do is drop this off to the ship services technician on Sidonia. They'll take it from there. Thanks for bailing me out of this nightmare.
Horace is good people, but I prefer Joy's line of thinking. We gotta find our own way. I lived a pretty quiet life to start, but the quieter things got, the more noise I made. Got into trouble, did the whole teenage rebellion tour, that sort of thing. Dad used to say I was made reckless by boredom, but I think he deserves some of the credit. See ya.
I see an opportunity to turn scrap into something I can sell and... Hi, welcome to... I apologize if I'm a little... Sure, You have no idea. Every time I feel like I'm getting ahead, something happens to knock me back down. But unless you're some sort of merc, I'm not sure you can help. See, I saved up to get a new ship and hire a pilot. He was supposed to help run deliveries and bring in all sorts of new goods, but he went missing. I can't find anyone willing to track him down. I'm worried something bad has happened. Really? I mean, thank you. I know it's a lot of trouble, but it'll mean a lot to me. I'll try to compensate you as best I can when you bring back Eric and my ship. It's a cargo runner called the Berry Mule. The last signal I got from him was out near Triton. It's a starting place, at least. And try to bring them both back in one piece.
Why, hello there. What can I help you with? Have you come to seek assistance from the House of Enlightenment? Yes, the Enlightened serve as a community-centric institution, much like a traditional church, but without religious faith. For it's the community and faith in one another which is important, not adherence to a particular religious dogma. We're here to serve the Sidonia community in many ways. While we don't have a belief in a greater power, we have faith in humanity that people will always strive to better the human race. As a community, we come together to help those in need. Food, shelter, basic amenities. We'll provide because that's what people do for one another. We'll always be here if you need something. Actually, before you go, Would you mind helping me out with something? I was debating with my dear friend Horace and would like an outside opinion. He believes that faith in a higher power is what inspires more people to be good. I say that more people do good without any promise of divine reward or retribution. What do you think? Good point. Though I wonder if I had told you I would reward you for your time, would you have had the same response? You've inspired me to try a little scientific experiment with this theory. I'll have to ask more people, both with and without rewards offered, and see how they respond. Then I'll get back to Horace with the results. Thank you.
What?
Private drinking establishment. Vets only. Are you now? Tell me, how many missions you have under your belt? Bars for real veterans, not cadets playing dress-up. Come back when you've got some blood on your collar. Glad we understand each other.
I wish there was something more to do around here. Drinking gets old. Most visitors can't wait to get off this rock.
Says I gotta watch my blood pressure. Like I can do that on a job like this.
What
Wish
now?
we could just do this on Neon. Hello? You're early. They must have changed the times up. The bosses can be paranoid like that. Well, I got the package on me. All you need to do is deliver it. Here. I trust you know what to do with it.
I can't be a part of this. Why the hell did you do that? I'm gonna go down. Oh, I'm hit.
Hello there. Welcome to the new Homestead Chunks. We've got all your Chunks' favorites. Well, almost all of them. Sadly, we're out of the special sauce. I know. But everything else is still that great Chunks food you know and love. So, what can I do for you?
Excuse me, Bill. You've got to do a better job of keeping your tour groups out of trouble.
What do you mean?
That little boy almost wound up on my operating table. Claudio said he was playing with some of the machinery down by the mines and nearly got his arm stuck inside. It could have been ripped off.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, kids, little troublemakers. I'll tell the guests to be more careful.
Damn right. You've got to do something. Or else next time it happens, I'm billing you personally.
Yeesh. Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years. I knew you were a fellow history buff. Well, tell you what, you come along on one of my little tours, and I guarantee you'll learn something you didn't know before. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like. Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits.
Hey, you don't have to be nervous.
Well, 100 credits is... I assure you it wasn't intentional. I really should have been upfront about the price. I thought maybe you saw one of the flyers. Maybe I could do something for you. I hear you. Not if I go broke. Sorry, but that's the price, and I'm not willing to go. Great! Let's get this show... All right, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, Titan Astrobase, was finished in 21...
Always so cold here.
Have any questions so far? The original Titan Astrobase had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those hab units were recycled into materials used down here. Alrighty, we'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now.
I can't
Go
wait
check
to go
out the
away on my
farms.
learning vacation
Follow me
when
up
I
the
grow up.
elevator. New Homestead's farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, a perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
The elders say that preserving our tradition is so important, but I keep hearing such wonderful things about other worlds.
Any questions about the farms? Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking. But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me! So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here. Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs. Sure thing. Keep in mind the biolabs exhibit is closed for visitors, but I'll be waiting if you need a minute anyway. Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolab. Sadly, none. See, NASA funded the Titan Astrobase project because conditions seemed ripe for primordial life to form in Titan's methane pools. They tested many different sites, performed deep core ice drilling, and more, yet nothing turned up. Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the Astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it New Homestead and established it as a historical site. Huh? Sorry, I zoned out too. You got it! On to our next stop! Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there. We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
Feel free to look around, but don't touch. Hello.
You don't want
Anyway,
to get
where were we?
sick around here.
Yes.
Dr.
Powering
really
New
doesn't
Homestead.
care for tourists.
As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astro base. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today. The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean, renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms. This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds. These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity. So, let's talk about wind power, shall we? You're right. Most surface wind on Titan isn't too terribly strong, but here, the altitude and other conditions are perfect for sustained wind power. Like many worlds with atmosphere, the higher you go, the windier it gets. You're the boss. Let's go. Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of the stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. Though of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right? Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come. New Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing plants in the settled systems. Every year, UC engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. That's how this place has remained operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions. Questions? Fire away! Exports mostly, since this world is so methane rich and has the infrastructure for it, a lot of the UC's methane comes from Titan. Of course, new homesteaders use it themselves for everything from generating heat to turning it into breathable oxygen by a modern science. Oh, no one's ever asked me that before. Something to do with methane-eating microbes, I believe? I honestly don't know. Sorry. It's not as if they shut down for a month. It's not shut down at all, actually. See, this place is built with redundant systems, so they can shut it down piece by piece and suffer only a reduction in throughput. During that time, the UC gets more of its resources from other places, allowing New Homestead to maintain what it needs. Take your time, but not too much time. Don't want to... Questions? Fire away! Okie dokie, artichoke. There will be time. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour. What we're about to see is a glacial spire we affectionately call Ymir's Horn. This colus used to be named after a character in a popular fantasy novel, but it was changed a couple hundred years ago to avoid any potential litigation. Now, what's a colus, you might say? Colus derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, coles, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets, back when they didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. Because of that, the term is much more common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds. This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here. So here it is, Ymir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like. According to ancient Norse mythology, Ymir was the first Jotun, a frost giant. In the legend, they were both male and female and gave birth to the progenitors of all giants from their armpits. Ymir even predated the Norse gods, who, as it turns out, killed Ymir to fashion the earth and all of humanity from the corpse. It's a fascinating story, and the horn here is a fitting tribute to it.
Just got a message. Looks like we got another leak in Sector 3.
That's the second time this month.
This area we're walking through is the nerve center of the plant, where technicians keep an eye on the operation.
We do what we gotta do.
Since
until we
methane
get the
production is
approval to
such an
replace the
important part of the colony's livelihood, it's important that the techs notice any issues and react to them quickly. Anyway, we're headed into the ice mines. It's a natural spring where water bubbles up from deep below. Due to the cold, it keeps freezing as it reaches the surface. It takes miners working daily to clear the ice.
We still need to find any sign of Vanguard Moara. Keep your eyes open. No, it's fine. Go ahead. Maybe another time. Two steps in, and we're already looking at a corpse. Okay. It's not Vanguard Moara. Looks like someone's been scavenging around here and someone else came in and said hello. This won't be your last encounter with space. Facilities and shoot anyone. Scavenging a star yard is a bit low entry. Ah! Waste of time. Wait. Did you hear that? Might as well take... Who's next? Target down. This is gonna end badly for you. Damn, I was just getting warmed up.